pro himself, but I think he plays in like the FPLs and things like that, so you know, he won't be too rusty. Now, let's see what's going to happen here. Automatic will get some sound cues at the very least. A quick look up top mid and a fallback. He's got a 1v1, not working for him though. Zipex will get a kill there. Flusher spamming through the smoke on Arch. In the meantime, Rush with red health is going to be hoping for the best. The numbers game is not with him. Flusher will be isolated as well, so we'll see if he can get any frags here. Doesn't seem so. Dupree jumping into the site, and this might be a tough retake here for Cloud9.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to get back in there, but it is a pistol round, so you never know. Those headshots start raining in. Gets much easier very quickly, but this setup looks just beautiful from Astralis. Everyone's in position, covering each other, and it doesn't look like they're going to be giving up on this. Valens will be able to take down one, but time is being burned on that bomb, and looks like it's just some exits here for Device, finding Kiyoshima trying to retreat, trying not to give any more money towards the Astralis side on this pistol. And you can see Valens as well doing the same. Trying to maybe pick up an extra $300 as well. It can be a big difference maker. Of course, we have this new economy still, and I suppose it's not really that new anymore, but it's something that's, I think, on Inferno is very, very favorable to a team like Astralis. But you know, of course, they will be winning the pistol, so they won't be concerned with that. But they might be concerned with Cloud9 going for a strategy that Astralis, I think, popularized by executing it so well, which was the force buy on the CT on this round. You have the CZs, you have the smoke grenades, the Kevlars. It's very, very strong. You play the delay game. Teams are generally getting much better at dealing with that, and they have like kind of protocols set up to figure out, okay, do they have smokes? Okay, it's this kind of a round. Okay, this is how we deal with it, so they don't fall into a pitfall. But we'll see Cloud9 going for a full save. And I know that this can be worrying. This is a map where you want a lot of utility. You want those AWPs out early, James, and we're not going to see that here with Cloud9 because they're going to go for those M4s next round.
I like the force buy. I'm a fan of the force buys. I'm sure we will see them from other teams, and I think that it will become more prevalent. I think it puts the CTs in a better situation because if you come into that first buy round with less utility, I think eventually, give it like 3 months or so, I think there'll be different percentages on if you win round 3 or if you win round 4. So I think we'll see more of that. Glaive in a flanking position, and that's construction taken out by Valens. Now there's a question for Cloud9. Do you want to continue to come towards this B bomb site because they know there are SMGs, they have a higher kill reward than the rifles, and you don't want to give that extra money to your opponent, especially considering you're going to have a weaker buy because you're going for the earlier buy. So there'll be more pressure if you give the T's more money. So indeed, Cloud9 are not going to run to their doom. Now, that is definitely what you want to avoid, the UMP. But they will mostly die. And you can expect them to die in this situation, in fairness. Even if they don't run towards the site, they will be hunted because the Astralis want that extra money.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult. And I'm really curious how Cloud9 are going to play this next round because the problem I see with this approach is that you really need to take something away from Astralis on the CT side. You really need to pressure that banana. You need to get rid of some of their nades. Maybe find a situation where you can take down a player early. If you play very passively, which we'll probably see from Cloud9 because they won't be able to win the utility exchange because they won't have as much. So they're kind of encouraged to play passively. Then they will give up so much space for Astralis to work the map. And I think that's always going to be to your detriment when you're playing against a team like Astralis. You just don't want to allow them to set up easily. And we'll see that CTs are having a look in on Banana, but again, they can't really challenge with the way the nade situation is for them, and they'll be forced back onto the site very early.
See Rush in a short position, just been smoked off. They've left boiler open, however. And it looks like we might see an early balcony burst from Astralis. Cloud9 rushes blind, so is Dupree, but he manages to see in time, getting good value out of that Mac-10. The trades continue. All looking favourable for Cloud9, taking bullets in the face from Device's AK. And that leaves Kiyoshima and Valens towards that bomb site. So not much they can do. They have been outmaneuvered in this regard. And that will be a quick 3-0 for Astralis. Again, Dupree, the only person to be lost. But he had a Mac-10, so not really a big deal there. And now they will look to wipe out the rest of Cloud9.
Yeah, and I think you have to wonder again, you know, is this something that Cloud9 have typically found success with, going for that save and then just buying the third round like this, or should teams generally on this map be more encouraged to go for the CZ force buy with smokes? And I kind of feel like they are, but Cloud9 did not make that choice, and they will be put behind. Valen's looking to be able to save this though, this M4. So that's very nice, can bring that into the following round, and his teammates can get a couple pistols along with that and try to see what they can do here. But this will be another easy one for Astralis. You can see, of course, they've been able to upgrade for free. So their economy is amazing. Everything has worked out perfectly. I don't think a perfect start, when you're playing against Astralis, that's not an easy thing to deal with. So it's going to be quite difficult for Cloud9 on their first buy round. They've got to make it count.
See what Valence can do with the M4A4. I think Cloud9 are in a fortunate position where... I think they're in a fortunate position where their coach is somebody who actually actively plays the game, and not many teams are in that position, as we've seen them suffer for roster change reasons or otherwise. I'm always here though, guys. Maybe it wouldn't be fair of me to play ECS, but I'm always around. I've always got gear. One day it'll happen. One day the dream will be here. We were playing on FACEIT the other day. We got paired with Cold Zero and Fur. They know what's up. That was really fun.
Was that an easy win?
It was a comfortable victory. Everybody,
it's not bad, is it?
Everybody, it was fun to play with them. The proper communication is always good.
Yeah. Well, Cloud9 have picked themselves up some proper guns, and first full buy from them. This round has to go off. Astralis' economy is already out of control, and they'll go for that banana contestation, but it's not going to work out too well. Device with the first frag onto Kiyoshima, and do they reinvest here, or do they give it up? It's such a hard decision to make, as now Astralis have that early 5 versus 4. Again, couldn't be going more perfectly for them at the moment.
Taking the arch area. Smokes are here, but Flusher is around its library position. Plenty of time for Astralis. Some spray from Flusher through the smoke, dropping some HEs as well, doing more damage. Dupree down to very low HP, and Astralis will have to abandon this situation. Now we have automatic towards this banana position. He will be looked for. He's going to get himself a nice flick and have to reposition. Another surprise for Astralis. He misses the second shot though. Creating some space for himself, trying to buy some time. He's got one more play for support. The bomb is down now. Flusher being very impactful in this round. And now Zipex is left alone. 1 versus 3 for him. The clutch minister, that's a great shot. How is he still alive? The HG could be brutal. Can Flusher get away from it? He can. 37 seconds. Where is the last player? Doesn't know quite yet. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm looking at I'm looking at a different screen and it's on a weird delay. So anyway, Cloud9 get their first run on the board. I'll check with production what's going on there.
I'm going to cast from the program, James. That's what I'm doing.
What did I just...
Wait, there's 2 programs, one's late. Okay, well, either way, we'll have the follow-up round from Cloud9. That went really well, considering how bad the start was. There was such a crazy recovery. Astralis, suffering with that, fast switch up in towards the arch push, and now Cloud9 do have a good base to work with. Some pressure here coming in for both teams. The MP9 out for Valens, as he will get dropped by Magis quite quickly. Lots of counter utility being tossed out there. So the kill, and they are looking to continue the pressure here. It's just Kiyoshima at the moment, and you can see Flusher looking for answers. He wants to confirm if there should be a team rotation to help out Kiyoshima, if it's actually going to be a B push. But now, I mean, Astralis can just pressure both sides of the map. Cloud9's defense, it has holes all over the place.
Well, this is the reset that they cannot afford, Cloud9, sorry. 3 versus 5 at the moment. Now, Kiyoshima has a choice to make. Astralis is still spread out across the entire map, however. The bomb only going down now. Just inviting any Cloud9 players. Oh, okay, hello. That's a big spray, but does that spur them on? Rush is still towards the A site, so this is a very weird situation for Cloud9. He's heard Dupree now, but Dupree's just containing. At the moment, there they are taken down. Stereo frags for Astralis, and that should be the end of the round. So that's such a weird situation. While the smoke is down in CT, Kyoshima has a decision to make. Does he fall back while the smoke is up, or does he try to make an opening for the team? But even if he does do that, the team aren't in position to capitalize on it. And the round is not with them anyway.
This is a funny spot because they don't want to let him ninja because he absolutely could unless they push back. He knows he also can't escape because they're holding the escape as well. So quite an interesting spot there to do some extra damage, but unfortunately it will not be there for him. Really cool to see that wallbang there from Kyoshima. Of course, you know, someone that's standing up. I mean, it's quite a common position to stand. So that's one I would expect people to be copying all over the place, in pugs especially. It's a nice place to stand as a T to defend players pushing from construction and also players pushing in towards pool. But back onto pistols, indeed the reset, as James described, is the reality for Cloud9. And Astralis really having their way with them. Only one hiccup so far, and this is a very strong recovery for them. Cloud9 need some very special deagle kills here. Oh, the wallbang's coming in again. Yes, the Krieg.
The Krieg, nice.
Love to see it.
Looking good for Astralis at present. Pretty much a perfect start to this half. And I'd say perfect, you may say, oh, it's imperfect because you lost one round. If you lose that round and then reset Cloud9 immediately, it makes it a lot easier to get a bigger lead because they don't have that max loss bonus anymore. So you can consider this. This is one scenario. If there's more than one perfect scenario, this is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
For Astralis. Money is in the absolute bin. Flush looking looking for something. Excuse me. Not quite finding anything.
I'm hoping that when we get to that second half, that Cloud9 win the pistol, not just so that the pistols are split, but because then we get a demonstration. I would be very confident to call, you know, 95% certainty that Astralis would force buy if they lose the pistol and show us that really strong force buy with the C-sets and smokes and so on. And that's I want to, you know, see that for just a demonstration because that's not what Cloud9 went with, and they're having so many issues now economically. Either way, pistols again, a double save. It's going to be tough to get anything done in this round. Need some glorious deagle shots, but Device will be using the scope very well on the Krieg. It feels good using the Krieg when you're scoped in.
It's really satisfying to get a headshot with it. Really, especially if it's a one tap. Really satisfying.
It's one by one.
Just need to practice the spray. That's the main thing, is that I feel like when it like it's literally a better gun than the AK-47. It's more accurate without the scope. And I think with the scope, it's the most accurate gun in the game. I think without the scope, it's definitely more accurate than the AK-47 and has higher armor penetration as well. 100% armor penetration. But I think comfort, when you've been spraying with an AK-47 for so long, and you have to basically learn it from scratch, essentially. And it's just, there's so many scenarios like spray transfers and so on where it's going to be easier to go with what you know than to pick up the Krieg. I think the Krieg has a slower rate of fire though, right? Than the AK? I believe it might. I think that's also a difference with, on comfort. But, oh, I mean, we'll see Cloud9 with the buy again. It's they're down 1 and 7 now, so you'd really like to see them start picking up some rounds. This is only the second time I think that they've had a proper full buy. And see the pressure's coming on straight away from Astralis, taking over Banana for very limited utility, only having to use 2 players to do so. And meanwhile, the other 3 players for Astralis are taking over apps control as we speak, and we'll see top mid eventually as well. And so it looks like we're having a regular default from Astralis, taking as much map control as they can before making a decision. And Cloud9 are trying to hold on to their utility. They still have 4 smokes at around the 1 minute mark, which is a pretty good pace on those smokes for the CT side, and it might be a good move for Astralis to increase the pressure to start baiting those out, because if they can hold on to those for another 10 seconds or so, it will make time a pretty big pressure for Astralis in this round. Astralis with a focus both towards Banana, but also towards top mid at the same time. So it seems to be maybe selling a fake. Smokes on either side of A, and they will move all but one player. dupree's in a position to wrap. They've kept Kiyoshima in CT spawn, however, there are still 2 players towards B bomb site. The flash will take automatic off the angle, no kill for him, but Valens will deliver the first one. You have to play retake with the smokes down. A deep flash towards Banana to force his way out. Doesn't quite work for him. Automatic is lost soon after. So it seems like he was making a play to give them much better odds to win the round, and they could try to save with the remaining players. But once again, dupree just contained the players towards A, so there really isn't anywhere to hide. flusha moving towards the B bomb site. It's still a 2 versus 3 situation. dupree now moving up Banana, and the CTs are holding angles, waiting for these smokes to go. Not much in the name of utility at this point. The spray will be had by Zipex, and Kiyoshima now at the point of no return. Surely 1 versus 2, looking for something, picking up the M4. There's Zipex's head, but Kishima's will be found first, and it's 8-1 for Astralis.
Yeah, another really good round from them, and another round as well in which Cloud9, I really want to see them have a round where they can take control of Banana. I think that would change the pace dramatically and create more issues in the early to mid round for Astralis to have to deal with, as opposed to Cloud9 being in a spot where they are at the moment, where they have to play very reactively. And I gotta say, Fnatic and NIP were definitely some of the most passive Inferno teams in the past with how they played the CT side, and they were often very, very good at it. But I think that right now, to stop Astralis, you've got to get some map control, slow them down, and try to win that utility war. But sometimes they are just too good. And there you go, there's a frag. Automatic, finding one in the from the apartments. Quickly traded out, though, by Zipex. Glave's weak as well. Maybe there's some hope in this round.
Looks like it will be B again. Yeah, so let's see. He would need a few headshots, I think it's fair to say, Kiyoshima. There's still time for recovery for Cloud9 as their loss bonus continues to increase. But I don't know if there is hope based on what we're seeing. Versus the best team in the world, give you the least space to maneuver to move, the least mistakes to punish. Even windows of opportunities, let alone mistakes.
Yeah, and it's a difficult one as well, because if you look at Cloud9, they just not really had many opportunities to create something. Again, it's often that Astralis are able to just force their way into bomb sites with really nice setups and good utility usage. And Cloud9, they can't quite find a way to sort of stop them before they get to that point. And once Astralis are at that point, maybe it's the point of no return and they can't be stopped anymore. So you really want to try to slow them down before they are able to execute onto a bomb site. And you can see their money is just outrageous because Cloud9 are unable to have even guns in most rounds to get the kills, to harm that economy. So a third time now we'll see the full buy with the AWP on Cloud9. Automatic is lacking some utility, but they have enough to take away map control on Banana if they want to. They are starting this round with 3 players, so maybe we'll finally see that.
Right then, the big investment. You've got players facing the wall, expectant of flashbang, so they can turn around and still see. Common spots for an AWP will be grenaded, but Automatic's got a new one. That wasn't expected. And now device has been taken out. What is the response from Astralis? Need to bring something back. Quick jump peek, and there are so many players here that they will hold on to Banana position. dupree's got a pick towards short in the meantime, and Astralis will focus on that. Looking for the rotation is dupree, and in the meantime, the bomb is heading towards A.
This is beautiful stuff from Astralis. The reaction was so quick there after losing players towards B, but Rush is holding down the pit area. The taps come in from dupree. He's good, but this is a very tough spot. 1 versus 3. He has plenty of time, and that will make things slightly easier. A quick smoke there in the flank to slow down a CT. If there was a rotation there, dupree, though, will finally be taken out. Really nice round from Cloud9. I love how they played this. They tried not to suggest that there were 3 players towards Banana. They were trying to encourage Astralis to do what they've been doing, run up Banana, not expecting that up, not expecting to see such a resistance. And even with a fast response to rush into the A site, Cloud9 was still able to hold. That's a good pickup for them, James, but they are still working with a 7-round deficit.
If you look at the scoreboard, I think there's a reasonable average across the Astralis players in terms of kills and so on. So you can't really see, but dupreeh is causing so many problems for Cloud9. They haven't really been able to stop him getting into position. And that's been a continuing issue. Magisk will make his way through the Molotov. Good timing for him with the flashbang support from his teammates. And Flush has been taken down. Arch has been a massive problem for Cloud9 in terms of defense. And now Astralis are all over the bomb site. They know that they haven't cleared pit just yet, but hasn't been too much of a problem. 1-for-1 trade in favor of Astralis will keep them a man to the good. What can Cloud9 do in this situation?
It's very awkward. There's smokes all over the place here. Definitely some element of variance about Glaive walking through. And there they go. No more cover for Mr. Glaive, and Valenz will take him down. A 3v3 now, but looks like Cloud9 feel as though there's not enough time to go for this. They did have a lot of utility, but playing retake on this bomb site is very difficult, especially when the T's are set up, and you know the T's are Astralis members as well. So Cloud9 obviously really fearing the reset. Obviously they will be reset, but at least carrying through the 3 weapons can guarantee them some resistance in this next round. They've even kept, you know, a fair amount of utility, so that will help also. But we'll have to see something creative here from Cloud9 to somehow win this round.
Another reset. God damn. Well, they've got, yeah, indeed, they have some weapons. But that's a problem. Again, it's just like so hard to find something to exploit from Cloud9's perspective onto Astralis. Trying to take the game away from the best team in the world is quite a challenge. Again, Arch has been an issue. dupreeh has been a massive thorn in the side, as well as the whole Astralis team. And now he continues to try and harass some more. Is he brave enough to... If they ever read that they're not playing the pit position, then they can just go for those dirty peeks, and they do. Maybe feeling that Cloud9 will feel like they have to get more aggressive. And they are trying to do that. And then their position will be compromised almost. In response, Device going for the spray, down to 20 HP. Some more grenades from his teammates, got to fall back in case a wild HE comes streaming in. But look how little utility Cloud9 have left at the 1 minute mark. They've really forced them to throw what little they had. But no one's been lost yet for Cloud9.
However, they do know, Astralis know where the AWP is now, and that was the ace in the hole for Cloud9 in this round. Just mixing up Automatic's position, hoping that they'd run into him, but he was not able to find anything really towards the quad position, towards that A bomb site. Now Astralis have found their way into a bomb plant, and there is surely no retake possible here. Such limited HP, and dupreeh once again just a thorn in the side of Cloud9. Constantly catching rotation, constantly in places you wouldn't suspect. And I mean, it's been so annoying because you want to hold on onto these guns in these rounds that you can't win, and they can't even do that most of the time. So Astralis doing everything right. They are looking quite scary here today,
as per usual.
Yeah, they went 17-1 in the season. Unfortunately, dropping a map. I guess it's just so hard to get the clean zero. Yeah,
they don't like dropping maps in ECS. That is for sure. From season to season, yeah, they're just not fans of it. So we'll see how this continues. Early days for Cloud9, but again, not an ideal situation. Golden is unwell and unable to attend, which is unfortunate. Again, he brings fragging power as well as IGL to the Cloud9 side. So let's see if they can get a 3rd round on the board. Not looking bloody likely in this round, considering it's mostly USPs.
Yep. I'm a big fan of the current iteration of Cloud9 as well. I think that with Kiyoshima in there, I think it's a really scary team. I think he's the perfect addition. I'm really confident that they'll be able to find success with that full 5. One thing that was interesting, I had Rush on my podcast recently. We got to talk about some of his history, how unfortunately for him, he's always on these teams that are very, very promising, start winning tournaments. Like Optic, for example, they had this amazing run of winning tournaments in this 2-month span, and then all of a sudden, of course, they disband. So it feels like they didn't really get to enjoy the success of how good the team became. And then similarly, that happened to Rush again on Cloud9, where they get to the heights of winning the major after performing really well, and then boom, the project's disbanded again. So a lot of hunger on this Cloud9 team to return to the very top.
Last chance Saloon in the first half to get a much-needed 3rd round. That's a good start. But against Astralis, it is definitely how you finish 1-for-1, not favourable for Cloud9. They still have area control, but again, it is a round where they didn't start with everything they wanted. Rush picked off. That's a lot of utility gone as well as position towards short. Zipex now joining Dupree in the harassment towards the A site in another round, where this has just gone swimmingly for Astralis, as pretty much the entire half has. 2 men towards B, 1 towards A. Do you eventually, I mean, it's the last round which made make them less likely to all commit to one site. The bomb's been dropped though in the middle of mid, collected by Magisk with 5 HP. There'll be some sound cues for Kirishima. He'll hear 1 player, and probably assuming it's the bomb carrier. Won't hear Dupree creeping around the smoke, but Dupree will headshot him with the CZ. So it goes from bad to worse for Cloud9. Now Valence is alone. He has the AWP. There is some potential for 1v1s at the moment, but by no means will this be easy. Don't know how much of a sniper he is either. Looking for close quarters with the P250 at the moment. Maybe he knows some of these players are low. Let's see, Zipex is in a guaranteed, well, all but guaranteed trade situation, but Zipex alone will be enough for a 13-2 half in favour of Astralis.
Very nice, very dominant indeed. You know, I feel as though the Cloud9 perhaps not necessarily making some of the best calls in certain spots, but at the same time they are working without their IGL Golden, as we've mentioned. So it is going to be difficult, and you're up against Astralis, so it's really, I think, a case of just getting warmed up and making sure that you're comfortable and feeling like you can hit the zone in the setup that we have here. And it's beautiful. It's an amazing stadium, and I can't wait to see the tournament progress, and also for us to fill those seats. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think they've done a really fantastic job here so far. And moving into the second half, again, I wanted to see Cloud9 winning this pistol so that we could see Astralis' classic Inferno force buy and how strong it is. So let's see if Cloud9 can do it. They're going with the banana rush.
Okay, they've got the numbers here pretty much all together. But the flashbangs are too strong. Device has got 3 kills out of this. So great support, really. Dancing around the sandbags and Depixev to mostly clear up. And now it's Dupree. And suddenly the numbers game has turned in favor of Astralis. We may be looking at a 16-2 here, Dan.
Yeah, it's looking quite likely at this point. Great pistol from Astralis, just putting the players in the right spots. Really beautiful setup. You can often just gamble for this or play it on a timing. It's not going to be perhaps as common to see the T side rush towards the A bomb site really quickly, and if they do, you can slow them down and have time to react and rotate players. So pretty safe status setup from Astralis works out. Force buy-in from Cloud9 to make the difference. Glaive going aggressive with the UMP. He's done a fantastic job. Beautiful 3K off the back of that utility. That's worked out really well. This is a fast one.
It is a very fast one indeed. Dupree doesn't need to push, chooses to anyway. And maybe Rush can do something with this P90. Not the biggest kill bonus for the CZ. So we'll see what else he can do. I think Astralis will calm things now. Or will they? As I say, that Magisk is walking, spotted through the corner of the smoke. Now, they may want to collect that bomb before he can see it. Well, this is not ideal for Cloud9. Coming in replacement of Renegades, who are at home.
Yeah, that's it's a sad shame, isn't it? Renegades, they've had an amazing turnaround with this new roster. I don't think anyone expected it if you look at it on paper, and it would have been really fun to see them on LAN. They earned it. Yeah,
I think they're getting some flack. I think it's the first time they have dropped out of a ECS final, so not the first time they've done that, to be at home for a minor or / visa issues. So hopefully this does not happen in future, because I think a lot of people will be disappointed not to see them at LAN.
Yeah.
And that is the second test after the online performance as well. So there are questions to be answered of the Renegade squad. But now we'll see if Astralis can close this out. Doesn't look fantastic for Cloud9 with the tools they have available to them. Not much in the shed for this one. They've got a scout. A T-side scout, I think, really sucks as well. I don't think you really have the range to use it. I'm not a fan personally. You don't have like the ranges of Inferno or, I mean, of Mirage or a Cash. So, I think I would direct my money elsewhere. Rush has, okay then. Well, there's 2 players remaining for Astralis. Glaive with the M4, though, could still be very, very dangerous. So while this looks good for now for Cloud9, I think it can quickly escalate. For example, we see 2 players lost. Now, there's no position towards B for Astralis at this point. We've got dupreeh and Glaive towards the A site. Maybe dupreeh can find himself an upgrade. Flush is pretty damn low. Automatic still with only the Tech 9. So we'll see if they can collect anything on the B bomb site. There were some frags on Banana, but it doesn't seem that they found anything.
Yeah, this is very, very difficult. So no, there's knowledge of where one player is now. Two people flash pull for Glaive as he'll turn the corner and look to peek, but he'll not be able to help dupreeh in time. Glaive will arrive onto the scene. That's where Automatic is now. So they have pretty good information, but time might be an issue. Glaive, does he just try to go stick this now? Or he's suggesting it, and Automatic's offering himself in the smoke here, but he's knifing it. Glaive, is he going to get knifed? What's going on in the smoke? It's getting quite awkward. He'll get the kill, but the bomb will be detonating, and Glaive will not be able to save that weapon. So good try from Astralis, but they'll concede a round. But still, so many rounds to work with.
Oh, well played for Rush for getting those frags, and Valence with the Tech 9 spam. Yeah, that Mac 10. Really good work there.
Ooh.
I'm still not going to equip it.
Yeah, that's I know.
It's so weird. I'm so used to it for so long as running spam, but you got to stand still with it to shoot, and I just like I can't look at the gun and do that. And my brain just won't accept it.
Oh dear. Fast kill. Although Automatic will get a quick headshot towards Banana, so that will even things out. It is still advantage Cloud9 though in the 4v4. It favors the terrorists, and we'll see Magisk upgrading. They do this, Cloud9, another pick from Automatic. He's cleared out Banana by himself. Does he realize there's another player? No, he does not. Device lies in wait by the coffins, and now the rotation from Cloud9 will come in.
Completely changing his position, the other side of the site now, Device. Last seen on coffins, trying to catch these players off guard. There's been a smoke towards CT, but there's no commitment just yet. He can communicate that to his team, but you never know if people are creeping, and indeed, Valence is doing exactly that. And maybe that will encourage dupreeh to go towards the B bomb site, but there's no one else there. Everything goes quiet. dupreeh starts to rotate back. Can he get there fast enough? Because Glaive is on his own for the time being. Spots one play coming off the balcony. Where is the second one? There we go. Makes it as awkward as possible. Leaves Flush with 15 HP, planting the bomb on double stack now, the default plant. As soon as he moves, surely he's done for. And that will be that. 16-3 in favor of Astralis, dominating from start to finish.